Hey, this is Stacy and Megan with another What We're Cooking Eating Now bonus episode. In addition to our regular weekly episodes, twice a month we give you a real-time rundown of what we're cooking for our families.
In each of these episodes, we'll walk you through one recipe all the way and then list out 5 others. All in, you get 6 weeknight dinner ideas that we've tested and our kids have reviewed. You can use our ideas as inspiration or literally turn them into your meal plan for next week. We share the links for all these recipes mentioned in our free community, which you can join by going to didn'tijustfeedyou.com/community. All you have to do is enter your email, which we keep private, and look out for our post with all the what we're cooking and eating now deets. Stacy, this is one of those weeks, which I find to be very rare, where I did like a very thorough meal plan. And
Yes.
I was very excited about my meal plan and went wrong.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Wait, what
Okay,
did you think I was going to say?
And you were like, and I rocked it.
Well, I did, obviously, because
You did.
No.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right. So are you going to tell us what you ended up making? We like to keep these short, but today's your week to kind of talk us through a little bit more detail. Do you want to tell us like what you planned and what went wrong, or just go through what like 3 recipes that worked in the end?
Well, I'll do a little bit of both, and then maybe you can say which one you want some info about. How does that sound?
Cool. Great.
Okay. I don't know why I like to do that, like put you on the spot, like let me know. Because sometimes I'm like, I want to walk through this, but maybe it's not as interesting to you or to our listeners. Okay. This might be like a little too much info, but generally speaking, I like plan out the things I want to eat in a week. And then I look at the calendar and try to like be strategic, like, oh, I have a little more time this night. Or like we have flag football practice this night, so we'll do something differently. And like, that's also a little bit where things went wrong this week. So first up on Sunday, I made my Mississippi pot roast recipe from kitchen.com, which is a slow cooker recipe. It's like 5 ingredients. You just throw it in the slow cooker, put the lid on, crank it to high, and it'll be done when you're ready to eat. And I had planned to serve it over grits, but I had asked Brian to pull the slow cooker out. And like in my mind, that also means plugging it in, but he did not. And so after I like put all of the things in, I put all the things in, I turned it on, and I walked away. And 2 hours later, I was like, I do not smell the gorgeous pot roast smell that I should be smelling right now. I went into the kitchen. It was like as off could be, like cold. So I turned it on, but by that point, it takes like 5 to 6 hours even on high, because you're like making a roast very tender, a roast which has like a lot of connective tissue and whatnot. So it was really not ready for dinner at all. Like I was like, okay, this is great. We will just have the leftovers. Like we'll have the same meal, but just another night. And honestly, like
Totally.
with many things like a roast or like chili, when you braise something, it's kind of better the next day. If you can like cook it and then reheat it is really good. So that is still in my fridge, waiting to be eaten.
Still now?
With green beans. Yes.
Yes. Eat it tonight. Like that's a gift to your future self.
That is a gift to my future. And like I finally got into the part of the week where I could eat it. Okay. And then Monday night, I planned Italian sandwiches with your roasted gardeniera. I always feel like I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah.
Among many other things.
No,
is that correct?
That's it.
And we did get to eat that. So I planned that as a dinner before flag football practice. I was like, this will be great. It'll be quick and easy. And it was. I also had planned to make French onion beans, which is from Allie Slagle's I Dream of Dinner, and just like sounds so good. I have some chicken broth that needs to be used up, and I have some already caramelized onions, so it should be like really quick and easy, or should have been really quick and easy. But I did not know until yesterday afternoon that there would be another flag football practice on Tuesday night also. So
welcome back to school season.
And I like just before the recording was on they use like Group Me, which is a new to me app for coordinating. And it's like, oh, there are 3 practices every week, not 2 as promised. And look, they're like all early in the week, which I just I feel like early in the week is not. I need like bare minimum Mondays.
Yeah, it's rough.
So that means I have the stuff to do Mississippi pot roast for dinner tonight, French onion beans tonight. And I also defrosted chicken wings to make garlic Parmesan chicken wings with tortellini and zucchini and tomatoes, which might end up being the thing for tonight because the kids love the tortellini part of it. But so, do you want to pick a recipe for me to walk you through?
Well, okay, so wait, I've lost track of which one you've actually made so far.
I know.
The Mississippi roast you made.
Mississippi pot roast, but we haven't, I made it. It's in the fridge. We have not eaten it. We did the Italian subs and your roasted
Sandwiches
veggies so far.
and
And then we did
takeout. The vegetables are my recipe.
I know. You're like, I don't really want to hear.
curious about the beans. The French onion beans, it sounds really intriguing.
Yeah. It also sounds really easy, right? Because that's the whole premise of I Dream of Dinner. It's literally like to caramelize onions, which that does take some time. We've talked about this before. Like recipe writers like to be like,
quick question.
In 8 to 12 minutes. Yeah. What's your quick question?
Do you use a shortcut when you caramelize your onions?
I know that there are many, like sugar, or some people add like a little vinegar. You can bake. People swear by baking soda. You're supposed to be able to do them in the microwave. But I just happened to caramelize a bunch of onions. I think I mentioned this in last week's What We're Cooking and Eating Now, how we basically like had French onion dip for dinner one night. So I just made a big batch, and then I freeze the caramelized onions like in super cubes or in deli containers. So I have like portions of them. That's my shortcut to making caramelizing onions faster. So like just do a bunch at once and freeze them.
Got it.
Is that very satisfying or not?
No, it is. I do appreciate that. I will just say for people who aren't going to do anything make ahead, that just adding a little bit of sugar is technically a cheat, but honestly, like if you're trying to make something during the week, it works and it's delicious. Okay, so you have caramelized onions, you have canned beans, I assume?
Yes, like big, gorgeous white beans, which I feel like we don't eat enough. Like I just routinely buy black beans and chickpeas and kidney beans. So it was really nice to buy something else. And then you add the beans and like a little bit of broth. So the beans braise along with the caramelized onions. I think there's time because I bought time. If there's not, there will be. And then you do Gruyere cheese over the top and broil the whole thing. There's not a bread component like necessarily, but the photo in the book implies that you should serve it with crusty bread. So I planned for that. And then just like a super simple set like greens with a vinaigrette as our vegetable on the side.
That sounds so good. I recently served a bean dish, simple bean dish for dinner, and the boys were like, what is up? Like, where's dinner? Is that the side? But that sounds delicious to me. And I think with the salad and crusty bread, it sounds great.
Yeah. I will, when we share the links in our listener community, I'll let everyone know how it goes. I do feel a little bit like my kids might just eat bread mostly.
Okay.
And cheese and the beans without the cheese or without as many caramelized onions. They like beans.
Yeah. And I feel like Gruyere is easy to peel off the top, like grated Gruyere. Exactly. You know what I mean? It won't melt into the beans. So it'll be pretty easy for them to deconstruct.
Yes. That's what I'm hoping too. Okay. What is on your meal plan? Are you having a better go at it this week than me?
So I'm going to work on last week's. This week is a little, like, I'll tell you what I made already. So It's funny because I feel like even though we're in the same season and we both live not so far from each other, like in terms of how seasons play out on the East Coast, your food feels more like transition-y because your kids have started back to school. And I always am curious about if people make that transition based on what's going on in their life as opposed to what is actually still at the farmer's market. You know what I mean? Because I'm still on summer break and my food is still really summery right now, which reflects my time and the vibe and a whole bunch of things, not just what vegetables I'm buying. So I made corn Caccio e Pepe pasta this week. You know, Caccio is a particular cheese, and I think Caccio e Pepe is a pasta traditionally made with Caccio cheese and a lot of black pepper. And Caccio isn't as commonly found in the United States. I mean, yeah, at a cheese shop, I'm sure you could get it, but like it's not at the supermarket. So most recipes that say they are Caccio e Pepe use like Parmesan or Pecorino,
Yeah.
which is what I did. I kind of got the idea and made it up, but I have two different versions that I'll link to. One in Bon Appetit and one by Bobby Flay. The Bon Appetit one I did not make, and I just want to give people a heads up. But I think it's interesting that they chose a method where you mash the cheese with the pepper and a little bit of the pasta cooking water separately until it makes like a thick paste. And then you add it to the pasta and you kind of add more and more pasta cooking water. And I was like, oh, I wonder why I didn't think to make it that way. I think it's a little odd that you would do that without the egg. I
Hmm.
made it the way Bobby Flay's recipe calls for, which is much simpler, but people can kind of look and choose. Where basically I drain the pasta and I keep some of the pasta cooking water, and then I just melt the butter right in the pan. I brown the corn and I add the pasta cooking water and then cheese at the end. So whatever, you can kind of choose what feels right, but it's basically pasta with corn and cheese and butter.
So here's a question, because you said when you served beans, the boys are like, "Where's the beef? Where's the meat?" When you serve something like that for dinner, do they also ask that question?
Yeah, and it's funny because Isaac says, "Where's the beef?" Oliver goes, "Where's the beef or pasta?" Like, or
Okay,
"Where's the meat or pasta?" Like, pasta is different to them.
bolognese,
Yeah,
basically.
totally. Yeah, I don't know. Pasta is different to them. Pasta can be vegetarian, but just like a vegetarian thing that doesn't have like meat or like a big hearty grain. I don't know. Like, it's funny because like couscous and chickpeas, they'll be like, this isn't the same. Pasta is it's in its own category. And they're
It
like,
is. It's not the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
The corn cacio e pepe was just with a salad on the side. I made a steak and corn fatouche salad. It's a
Mm.
recipe that I kind of loosely followed. I got the idea from a recipe I'll share the link to, and then I kind of improvised. But it's basically like fatouche salad. You add grilled corn, and then you slice steak and add it on top. It was really delicious.
That was something you served to company
I
too, because you shared it on
did.
Instagram. I knew that you shared it with friends. Yeah.
You know, there were four kids here, and Isaac ate the salad with us. Like, Isaac is sort of an adult. So then there were three kids. Two of the kids literally just had their corn on the cob, like I split a cob for them, and they ate sliced
Yeah.
steak. Oliver did kind of a hybrid. So I was really only making the fatouche salad for like five people, which was a little less, made it a little less overwhelming. But
Yeah.
it's just like a huge salad without leafy greens and then pita chips and cutting the rest of the stuff up.
But like that's the thing. I think people get in their mind like, oh, if you're having people over for dinner, it has to be that like very meat and like side dishes. But really, it's lovely to do like some kind of chopped salad, or you could do pasta salad or grain salad, and then like one simple protein like that.
Totally. And the great thing about this recipe is that it also like I could do everything ahead. Like so
Yeah.
I chopped the radishes, I chopped the carrots, I chopped the tomatoes using your fabulous cherry tomato chopping trick that we have on our Instagram. And then the steak can be room temperature and so I was able to even like grill the steak and the corn ahead of time and then just slice it up and have everything ready to assemble when they came. It was super easy.
Beautiful.
And then the other thing I made that was a little bit of a bust. I never know how to say this. Sabeech sandwich.
I think that's correct. But I'm notorious for mispronouncing
Who
things.
knows? I
So
don't know. Maybe someone can tell us. Please feel free to correct us. Israeli Middle Eastern sandwich with, I think it's usually roasted eggplant or like pan fried. I grilled the eggplant and hard boiled eggs and like a chopped Israeli salad that goes in there and a tahini dressing. And guess who it was a bust with?
you or I'm going to say the boys.
Which boy would you guess?
Mostly Isaac, because he was like, "Where's the beef?"
Dude, yeah, he was, but not only that. So at first he was like, where's the beef? But then he put it all together. And then, like, halfway through eating, he got really weird about the eggplant texture, even though there's a thousand other things. And he just was like, oh, I can't eat this anymore. I was shocked. Oliver, who is like actively like, I don't like eggplant. I was like, dude, just put two slices of eggplant in there and like cover it up with other
Yeah.
stuff. Did that and like gobbled the whole thing down, complained, but ate the whole thing. Isaac got really weird about the eggplant and like couldn't deal.
That's wild.
It is wild.
My favorite thing is when they eat everything, but they complain.
Well, that's Oliver's thing.
Yeah.
And Isaac has taken to calling eggplant aubergine. That's all he will call it, which I think is hilarious. He's like, I don't think I can do aubergine anymore. It's like, okay.
That's pretty cute. Would you do that again and do some kind of like grilled protein of some, or like, doesn't even have to be grilled, but like sliced meat along with it, or no?
Yeah. So, this isn't the first time that I've done this sandwich.
Yeah.
This is the second time in recent history, and he ate it the first time. And it makes me annoyed. So I want to answer that question no on principle because I'm super stubborn. Like being in power struggles with my teenager. But yes, actually, I got some ground beef and lamb, and I was thinking that the same exact thing with just like little patties that I could grill.
Yeah.
Almost like mini hamburgers, kind of between mini hamburgers and kofta or something.
Yes.
That would be really good in it too. So,
okay,
yes.
So it is going to happen again.
It's going to become a meaty dish. Yes, and yes.
And this is why it's a real-time rundown of what
real-time rundown. So that's what we ate. It's delicious. I love the like summer and transition-y vibes. I hope everybody else does too.
I know. I want to hear where everyone's at too. Because some people are back to school and eating still summer food and vice versa. So I'm trying to will it to be fall. That's what I'm trying to do.
Are you? I'm not ready, Megan.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just for the cool weather.
Yeah. Yes. I hear you about that. It's been a hot summer. Well, this bi-monthly series is thanks in part to the generous support of our Didn't I Just Feed You supporting membership. So a huge shout out to them. Thank you guys. We love you. You can find out more about becoming a supporting member at didn'tijustfeedyou.com/community. And you know what? Like if it's not the right time for that, don't worry. Just keep listening. We love that too. Anyone who is a part of the free community board can get the links to all of this week's recipes right there. Just look for the What We're Cooking and Eating Now post.
A huge thank you to our producer, Samantha Gatzik. Thanks for listening. Stay sane and well fed. Until next time.